Hello everyone, Counterspell Hater here for what may seem the first time today, but it's actually the second time because I'm redoing this episode because of something that happened, but that's nothing. Today we're going to be getting into what is one of my favorite commanders returning from all the way from Iconic Masters to now Dominar United Commander. But before we get into that, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment on this video. I like the feedback from you guys. And if you're first come, first serve, you can make an EDH request. Just make sure it hasn't already been featured on this channel. The name of the commander you obviously want to request. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss another one of my videos. So let's get into it. So today we have Bladewing, Deathless Tyrant. So this is a Graveyard Matters type deck. And we want to be making a lot of zombies. So I run Zombie Tribal for this deck. Because Zombie Tribal decks only have lots of ways to fill up the graveyard. So let's get straight into it. Chaos the Unhallowed is in here to buff up our board, give our board Undying for the most part, so that way our non-token zombies can come back from the grave stronger than what they were before if they didn't have a counter on them. And this is a hard counter to human tribal decks, because whenever human deals damage to us, it gets destroyed, which says indestructible, in which case it isn't. Undead War Chief buff up our zombies by quite a bit and cheapen our zombie spells that we cast. Diagraph Colossus is good early game or late game. Early game, you can get a lot of zombies out of it. Late game, it's going to be a big hulking zombie, just like the rest of the zombies in this deck. Blizzard Blades. Now, of all the equipment I can put in here, why would I put Blizzard Blades? Because it's an artifact creature that can become an equipment that gives double strike to Bladewing. That way we can get his combat damage trigger off twice, giving us more zombies. Stuff like that is something you should think about. Cemetery Reaper, buff up our zombies, and we have a bit of graveyard hate. So in case we don't want our opponent getting their hands on something in our graveyard, or something out of their graveyard that's just generally scary, like a Crit Behemoth. Crit Breaker, you can fill out our graveyard, create us tokens, draw us cards. At the cost of some life, it's incredibly cheap in mana. May not be cheap on mine, but still, it's important to have gas in red black. If you run out of gas, then you're stuck. Plague Belcher, help us drain our opponents. Can be a win condition in this deck with how many zombies we make. Can kill something that belongs to us when there's the battlefield, depending on where we put the -1/-1 counters. Siege Zombie, in case our opponent somehow has too many blockers or not able to attack or whatever. Tomb Tyrant, buff up our zombies and allows us to get zombies back from our graveyard at the cost of a creature on our board, which will be no problem. Zombie Infestation, we can bring this out as soon as turn 2 and start discarding creature cards, all while putting zombies down onto our battlefield, so that later, by the time we play out Bladewing and swing with them and deal combat damage, we may get like 10 or so zombies. Who knows? Depends on how much you discard. If you're going like discard route for this deck, would definitely recommend Glintform Buccaneer to deal a bunch more damage. Rise of the Dreadmarn. This is to recover after a board wipe very quickly, or just when we sacrifice. Bone Vizier. Great card in this deck, especially since we're discarding a lot. Can make us zombies, give us mana in case we discard lands, and draw us cards if we discard a non-creature, non-land card. Death Baron to give Death Touch and +1/+1 to skeletons and zombies we control. To give us some form of evasion. God Eternal Bantu is in here to just draw us a bunch of cards when he enters the battlefield. And he comes back even if he's exiled from our battlefield, so that's pretty cool. Headless Rider creates some tokens when our non-token zombies die. Avatar Slaughter is in here to get our opponents to open their gates so our creatures can flood in and finish them off. I mean, sure, they made some vigilance creatures, but if you think about Death Touch, Vigilance, and not Vigilance, Death Touch, Menace, and Double Strike on a bunch of 2/2s. And the reason we are able to get everyone to open themselves up for attack, thanks to Avatar of Slaughter, is because all creatures have Double Strike and attack each turn if able. So if it's able to attack, it must. Therefore, leaving most of our opponents wide open and helping us secure the kill. This also gives our commander Double Strike another way, along with all of our other creatures. So help us close out a game and get out more zombies if need be. And it's a creature itself, so it counts for something instead of having like an enchantment. Spark Reaper can keep us around the game if we sacrifice creatures to it, and it'll draw us cards. Wand of Orcus is in here to also give our zombies Death Touch and give Bladewing Death Touch. So now we've got our commander now has Flying Haste and Death Touch if we have this equipped to it and we attack or block with it. Whenever a quick creature deals combat damage to a player, we create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So more tokens. And there's a card later down the line, actually several, that can really turn the dial up to 11. Dread Summons isn't one of them, but still, it'll get you a lot of zombies. Especially if you end up hitting a lot of creatures off the mill X. Hopefully you get a lot of creatures into the graveyard out of this. Even if you don't get that many creatures, still you're getting creatures into your graveyard for your commander, and that's what counts. But if you get a lot, then that's still going to be good for you because now you're going to get a bunch of zombie tokens. Not to mention, if it's a 4-way match, you figure like, X equals 10. That's like 40 chances to get at least one creature, and you're probably going to hit more than one, unless you're really unlucky and you hit like a bunch of lands. Endless Ranks of the Dead. We're just going all out with zombies, so why not? Ravenous Rotbelly, cut down our opponent's board state just a bit. Grayspawn Sovereign can get stuff back or get us a tool to finish one of our opponents off, like a Critter Hoof Behemoth or something just generally scary like Next Boom Ancient. Stuff like that. Nim Deathmantle is in here because it can give our commander Bladewing the zombie type, which is important for later. I'll explain why. And Intimidate, so it can't be blocked by artifact creatures or creatures that share a color with it. And that is only black-red in this deck. So now our commander can only be blocked by black, red, or artifact creatures with flying. And Nim Deathmantle can also end up getting us something from our opponent if a creature they control would die. Crowded Crypt just gives up a whole bunch of zombies. If we don't end up sacrificing it, it's just a nice mana rock. Neheb, Dreadhorde Champion, can give us a lot of mana. Just have us discard a bunch of cards to draw a bunch of cards. Fill up our graveyard, fill up on gas, fill up on mana. That's all we need. Liliana Last Hope. Like I said, going all out on zombies, so having Liliana in this deck is definitely going to help. It's not a creature, but it's much better than a creature. Ghoul Caller Gisa. We need a bunch of blockers in a hurry. Sacrifice a big creature to this thing, and suddenly you have a board state full of zombies. Like I said, for the past few cards, later down the line, there'll be a few cards that can help with that. Or, well, not help, but actually go really well in combination with it. Bring on Omnipotence isn't one of them, but still goes nicely with this deck. Definitely recommend because it has everyone's life. It has everyone's life total. It forces everyone to discard half the cards in their hand and sacrifice half the creatures. That is a great opportunity to fill our graveyard. Not to mention we round up each time. For what that's worth, which could be all the difference, you never know. But still, what matters is that we fill up our graveyard with our creatures. Awaken the Erstwhile can do the same thing and can completely run everyone out of gas. So everyone may be in a bit of a stalemate depending on when this is played. Ayara, Thirst of Lockflame, can drain our opponents and keep us in the game and help us draw cards. Scourge Familiar is great because what you could do is you could add this out, discard a whole bunch of creature cards, like as many as you can within a phase on your turn, preferably probably main phase, and then play Dread Summons, and then by the time you're done with that turn, you may have like a whole bunch of creature cards in your graveyard. Depends on how much you discard with Scourge Familiar. Definitely would recommend you put it in this deck. Bog Witch can do the same thing. Can allow us to discard less cards to get more mana. So we won't have to use as many resources as we would by just using Scourge Familiar to add mana. Still, Phantasmagorian, if our opponent doesn't want us to have this, they're going to have to discard 3 cards, or they just straight up counter it. In which case, countering it, either way, if this gets into our graveyard, we're just able to discard 3 cards, preferably creature cards, and just get this right back. So this is a good way to fill up our graveyard. Would definitely recommend this in most decks, especially something like Gitrog or just a color combination deck involving black at least. Rankle, Master of Pranks. His combat damage trigger allows us to make everyone discard a card, lose a life, draw a card, and sacrifice a creature all at once. 2 of those are opportunities for us to fill up our graveyard even more, which is what we want. And we can do it the turn he comes out, if he deals combat damage and survives. Lord of the Forsaken, got too many creatures, can't attack for whatever reason, or just needs to make a bunch more, start sacrificing some of your creatures to just mill yourself. Urza's Incubator, cheapen up our zombie spells. Kindred Dominance, what we could do is we can name something besides zombie, have all of our zombies destroyed, now they're in our graveyard. Now Bladewing, when he deals combat damage, may get us a whole bunch more zombies with Menace. Or we just choose zombies, kill off everyone else's board state, and then possibly finish the game out from there. Or just kill someone. Either way, pretty good card. Would definitely recommend. Butcher of Malakir. Our stuff starts to die, or our opponent board wipes us, which would be a big mistake if we had this out. Because then they're going to have to sacrifice, each opponent's going to have to sacrifice a whole bunch of creatures. Door of Destinies, this is one of the cards I was talking about that would help out with our with those cards that I mentioned earlier. Because we choose a creature type, whenever we cast a spell of the chosen type, we put charge counter on this card. And then creatures in control of the chosen type get +1/+1 for each charge counter on this card. Door of Destinies. This can end up buffing our board, and with Gisa, we'll get more out of her every time we use her ability, if we're sacrificing a zombie, that is. And if not, but like, still our board's going to be buffed up. But why wouldn't you use that to buff up your entire board really big, then sacrifice zombies to just get more? Heart of Heroes can help us search for even better zombies if we need them. Obelisk of Erd, easy to cast because we are going to have a bunch of zombies out, hopefully. And can buff up our entire board of zombies. Masterwood Nexus. Excuse me. This can give our commander the zombie creature type, which is important. And all of our other creatures, the zombie creature type, in addition to every other creature type there is. So that way, all of our creatures are guaranteed to be affected by these zombie tribal effects. Because strangely enough, Bladewing in this time is not a zombie dragon, but is a dragon skeleton. Both undead, but that one small change actually affected this, but not too bad. Because we can fix that. Coat of Arms. This is a must-have in this sort of deck, especially in all tribal decks, like no matter what. Because you're going to get all of your creatures so But the more you have, the stronger everything of that creature type is going to be. If they share at least one creature type with those other creatures. So say we have 2 zombies out, and they're 2/2s. We play Coat of Arms, suddenly they're 4/4s. We get into our zombie production, and we have Maskwood Nexus, suddenly we're very dangerous. Shared Animosity, same thing. Can help us close out a game. Molten Echoes double up on our our non-token zombies when they are in the battlefield. Chancellor of the Forge just to make us a bunch of 1/1s in case we need blockers in a pinch. We can play this. Icon of Ancestry help us find our zombies. Kindred Charge can help us close out the game really fast, because by the time we play this, we might have like 40 or so zombies already on our board. Herald Torn, cheapen up our zombie spells, and help us find more zombies. Spine Rock Null, Hideaway is just guaranteed utility, because we're going to be dealing some more damage within a turn. We're red-black, it's what we do. Isolated Watchtower keeps us ahead in lands. And then, to finish it all off, we've got 24 swamps, 24 basic mountains. And with that said, the end of this commander's drawing one of my favorite cards returning, Bladewing Deathless Tyrant. This is definitely better than the old one, but the old one wasn't bad. I've actually made a deck out of it, and if you want to see that, just make a request by being first come, first serve, as I said at the beginning of this episode. By the way, this is just an EDH guide, and you don't have to use all the cards. You can use some of the cards, none of the cards, or all of the cards. It really depends on who you are. Speaking of which, if you want to see how I personally built Bladewing, because I have, with the cards I have at home here, just let me know by making an EDH request. It's that easy. Or if you want to see how I would personally build Bladewing, the old one, if I had access to every card, let me know. It's really your choice. Comment anyways. I like the feedback from you guys. Leave a like and subscribe. Shows me you care, and I love the support. Hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss another one of my videos. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.